a few of the families in the church were going camping, and they asked Hazel and I if we would like to come along with them. Turned out this was a very cold week, but we went geared up, and so we were very pleased to camp. In fact, we're right in this location here at Kenya Gorge. We're about to go home. And but it brings to mind a story I really should share with regard to the Lord's provision. Some years ago, and it was 2015, my son and Sam McComb said to me one day after church, they said, "Oh, a few of us are planning on going up the Cape, and would you like to come?" It would be a 3-week trip. Now, the Cape means an off-road adventure, 3 weeks, right up Cape York Peninsula, no phone, no power, no amenities, carry your own water, carry all your own food for 3 weeks. Serious off-road driving. And I had one of the four-wheel drives in the car. In the church, I had one of the more powerful four-wheel drive vehicles, and had only ever been equipped for the road. But I said, yes, I'll come as long as I can bring my own cook, because meaning I want to take Hazel. And but of course, an adventure like that means you need some basic equipment on the car. You need a lift kit. The car's got to come up higher, bigger tyres, a snorkel, and some other basic things. Plus, the kind of fridge you need, the wiring in the car, all the roof racks, basic things you need. But the snorkel and the tyres, big tyres and the lift, I mean, there's $3,000 or $4,000 in that alone, and this is essential. You could never do those roads without that. And I was 18 months out, and I thought, yes, I felt, grace, we can do that. But as we got nearer to it, and we were within 6 months of leaving, I suddenly hit the wall with all kinds of expenses. Thousands of dollars were demanded for needs and for problems, and we basically gave everything we had. We had to find more. And then my daughter was to get married in February. The wedding was, she'd been engaged for a good while, planning this for a good while, but the date suddenly was upon us on short notice. And so of course we threw everything in that as well. That was February. And I was feeling at that time, no, there's no cash. I've too many other responsibilities. I cannot do this. I can't go. And we'll make other plans. But at the wedding, one of the fellows said to me, he said, "John, I really felt you were meant to go on that trip. I felt the Lord was in that." And it witnessed to me. And afterwards, when the wedding was all over and I'm watering the garden, I said to myself, if man was to equip this car, we would only do the basics. But if the Lord's in it, and the Lord equips the car, he makes it the best equipped car on the whole trip. And so I began to trust the Lord, and he equipped the car. He did a whole lot of things to that car that we would have gone without. And so consequently, there's all underbody armor, there's a diff locker in it. I mean, the most beautiful roof rack and awnings and snorkels, two-way radio, an inverter, drawers in the back, fridge slides, the Lord just provided one thing after another in those months, and it all came together, the bull bar, the winch. And so here's a heavily equipped four-wheel drive. And we went and did that trip, and completely debt-free, and the Lord paid all those bills. It was an astounding miracle of provision. In a moment I'll come back to how I think that unfolded. And of course the trip itself, there were 17 or 18 of us went on the trip, 5 vehicles, spent 3 whole weeks, a wonderful adventure, just a beautiful time, and yet such a presence of the Lord being with us. And I remember when we came to the trickiest part of the trip, the old telegraph track, where you've got to drive through rivers and creeks and across difficult country. I remember the moment we entered in upon the track, you go from this camping area, here's this road that leads into the bush, a post either side, the sign that says, the old telegraph track. And as I passed through those posts, I heard the Lord say, as clear as could be, "Angels by your side." And we did that whole trip. We saw other people who'd wrecked cars, turned cars over. We passed through all that. We never had a flat tire. And we came with all these spares and all this, never a puncture. And just wonderful, adventure really, and yet the grace of God that just seemed to carry us through all of that. I thank the Lord for all of that, but the point is, not so much that He thinks of us in lots of different ways and provided, but it was this. I needed to settle on a truth, and the truth was this, that if man does something, man only does what is within man's reach. But if God does it, then of course, He does things a whole lot better than man does. And once that occurred to me, once that belief was there, You know, along with all the bases of faith and the things we'd learned about believing God, all I needed was that word, if the Lord equips the car. And sure enough, that grace cut in one after another. And my recommendation here, with respect to really all the facets of life in which we have need, is to find where the Lord stands. Find where his heart is, what his word is in the matter. Because when he speaks, it's done. Psalm 33, that still is such a strong word. He spoke and it was done. He commanded and it stood firm. You can stand on those words and see the most wonderful things unfold. But the thing is to be resolute, be very clear about what you believe. In your heart, know the Lord. Be clear about what he said, and you can walk in that. It's astounding stuff. Anyway, we thank the Lord. Since then, of course, we've been able to have other camping adventures. And here we've just enjoyed these few days of most rich fellowship with God's people. And then we go home, pick up the tasks again of thinking and of prayer and seeking to build the kingdom of God. God be with you, and let's not give up really pressing into the Lord, believing God, seeking God for his word in every situation.